Alright, Zerg friends, it's me, Fenner from Phonetic Array, and it's time for a bit of replay analysis. I was meant to do this replay analysis quite a while ago, around 2 weeks ago now, so I'm really sorry to the person that I said I was going to do it for, but finally got round to it, and let's get into this real quick. So here it is. We've got the text here. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate the fact that you take the time to help me. I'm a huge fan of you since I saw your fundamentals videos on Zerg. Now into the game, almost every Terran is doing this nowadays. 9 out of 10 Terran have done this to me in the last 5 days, and it's really hard to stop if you don't have a good macro, even if you scout it. When I scout the gas with my drone, I thought Reaper. Then I sent 2 links confirm, and I saw a lot of Marines and a factory. Immediately I put 3 spine crawlers and stopped the drone production. I know that 2 big mistakes were that I lost an overload, which kept me supply blocked, and the fact that I didn't produce enough links that I should have. Also, I should have pulled the other 2 queens to defend, so had 4 defending instead of 2. Besides that, I have dealt with this push a lot of times in the past 5 days, sometimes better, sometimes worse. But I never seem to defend it. Even if I do, I get so behind that the game is already lost. Taking consideration that I'm Gold League, so my macro isn't too good. I started playing like less than 2 months ago, and I still don't have friends in game. Literally 0, so it's really hard for me to analyze a replay on my own. So that's why I'm really thankful for you doing what you are doing. Thanks again. By the way, I apologize, my English is not my native language, blah blah blah. Thanks again, Fana. I really appreciate what you're doing, seriously. Emiliano Tina. So yeah, the English was pretty good, man. But let's go into this game, and we'll see exactly what this Terran player is up to. I'm pretty sure... Well, there's been a couple of 1-base builds going around lately. There's the 1-base Hellion drop, and there's also 1-base Marine tank. I think the 3 spine crawlers he was talking about is going to be an overreaction. In fact, let's look at the build here. It looks like hatch first into pool. Not sure on the exact timings. Doesn't matter too much, as long as it's not completely silly, but yeah, it looks pretty good. I don't think there was any overlords. Oh, a drone scout, okay. Drone scout's fine. There's nothing wrong with the drone scout. Okay, so yeah, we see... Did the drone scout see the reactor? No, it didn't. So we saw the racks, we saw the gas. We can assume Reaper at this point. First 2 lings is really good. We always want to scout the front just in case. I think the first overlord should go here. Yeah, the first overlord should definitely go here, because you want to be looking for an expansion. When it's a Reaper opener, the expansion either goes down at 340 if they build the depot after the expansion, and it goes down at 4 minutes if they build the depot before the expansion. A lot of people build the depot before because it keeps them safe against things like Temple. So that's the expansion timings you're looking for against the standard Reaper expand. Now, we need to get these links across the map as soon as possible. And here we go, they're going across the map. So we're going to see everything. I assume that he's going to poke up the front, and that's what we need to do. Okay, it does look like the Marine tank build. Since we see the reactor, well, we don't see anything yet. These links need to go straight in. No messing about, these need to go straight in. Check for expansion, no expansion. Then go up the poke. Alright, so we see a lot of Marines off a reactor. So, wait, do we see the... No, we don't see the factory yet. Will we get far enough to see the factory? We do. Alright, so at this point we see a lot of Marines, and we see a factory. So the options for this guy right now are either a Marine drop or Marine tank. Both of which we're going to want the same reaction to. What we want to do is that we want to use this overlord to poke around here to make sure he's not putting up another CC. Because the reaction is different if there's another CC. So right now we can assume he's on 1 base because he's got so many Marines. He's got the factory, and we haven't seen a natural. And there's no natural up here. So if he put his natural up here, it's really strange. But we can use this overlord to scout it. Let's see if we do scout it with this overlord. That's a very important thing. So I'm just going to speed it up and have a look at that. And then we'll look at the reaction from the Zerg player. Alright, so we don't actually see if there's a natural or not. So this is the most important thing when dealing with this. We need to have this around here so we can see if the natural goes down. And we need to have this poking around at the side of the base to see if he's hidden a command center. In this case he hasn't, so we're pretty lucky. We can assume it's 1 base. Now let's look at the opener and the reactions from Tina here. So we see this. Now, what's the reaction's going to be? Because at this point, he's realizing there's something going on one base. 2 gas, pretty standard timings, around 36. So we will be looking at a 4 queen opener. This is kind of the Scarlet style. So we have got 4 queens up. That's really nice. And then the next thing we're going to be well, actually, one thing we really want... Actually, no. I was going to say we want a spine crawler around 5 minutes. But since there's no Hellions, like that's when you want a spine crawler around 5 minutes. Since there's no Hellions, I don't think we need spines at all. Maybe 1 spine around now would be nice, but 3 is definitely an overreaction from what we've seen, because we think it's going to be drops or tanks. And neither of those spines are good against. So, yeah, definitely this is an overreaction. It's going to hurt you quite a bit. So the best reaction to a 1 base build, which we're assuming it is around 8 drones on the natural, your double gas is fine, and 16 on the main. Because basically, against Terran all-ins, you want 0.5 of a base more than them. So against a 1 base all-in, we want 1.5 bases saturated, and then we just build the units. That's a really good way to think about it. If it's a 2 base all-in, we want 2.5 bases saturated. Sometimes you can get it up to almost 3 saturated, but generally you want 2.5. That's a really good way to think about it. So if you think it's a 1 base all-in, don't go over 1.5 base saturation, which is 16 on the main, 8 on the natural, and 2 gas is a bit more than you need, but since you went for the gasless opener, you kind of have to do it. And we want to get speed as soon as possible. And then from this point, the best reaction would be to just Ling Bane. That's the best way to hold an all-in like this. You can run around and chase the drops. Rotoron's not very good. And we want to keep scouting. This is very important as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. But without Lings, these tanks are just going to be able to get set up. And the spines are not going to do too much. The tank's just going to blast away at them. I don't think we've got a Baneling Nest. No, we definitely need a Baneling Nest, because you can't really deal with Marines without a Baneling Nest. If you just send the Lings in, they'll get shredded a bit too quickly. So the rest of this game doesn't matter. It might be possible that you can hold it from this point, but the reaction has been pretty poor. So let's go over it again real quickly. The things that come to mind are we poke the front, which is really good. The first Overlord needs to go here so we can see the natural. You can send the second one over here. And then you need to keep looking at this location. And you also want to have a look around here to see if he's hitting the command center up here. And then once you realize that it's a 1 base all-in, we go to 1.5 base saturation, and we just use Ling Bane to defend. So 16 drones on main, 8 on natural, the gas as well, get speed, get the Baneling Nest, and then just pump pure Ling. Another great thing you can use is to send a couple of Lings out to keep grabbing reinforcements as he moves across the map, but it's not too important. The main thing we want to be doing is just completely overwhelming him. There is another all-in that you might come up against, which I'm just going to talk about real quick, and that is if they open Reactor Hellion. And in that case, you want 1 spine at the front at 5 minutes. But other than that, 1.5 bases, you'll be able to hold every single 1 base all-in. I hope that helped you out, man. Good luck in the future. Peace. Counterattack. So this is a really strong way to play in a ZVZ. Even just 2 roaches on a counterattack and force so much from your opponent. Not that they're going to do a lot of damage. That's not the key part of a counterattack. The main thing that you're getting from a counterattack is